My greatest fear. So there's like the superficial fear, and then there's like, the internal fear.
Death, because of the lack of knowledge of what happens afterwards.
I have a huge phobia of pigeons.
I like to think that it's nice, but, reality hits you at some point, and it makes you really anxious to think about it.
Like irrational, like just the thought of it, I'm worried that one of them is going to pop out of nowhere. And then obviously the other one is like, oh God, is my conception of reality right? Like, does heaven and hell really exist?
That my life will continue to not be exactly what I wanted it to be.
My greatest fear is kind of like not having like anybody to like talk to, like friends, like, I don't know, just like being alone.
There's some interesting flavor added to your life when it's not like that, but when it gets to be too much of that, I think that it becomes a little bit more of a haze and you're trying to work through that. So if it starts to like look a bit differently than I thought it would, even more so than it is right now, I think that would really start to suck. I mean, it's good, but I would hate for it to continue to be this surprise every 2 seconds.
I think my greatest fear is probably failure. Like failing at exactly like doing what I want to do or making my parents proud of me.
I think my biggest fear is that all of the work I'm doing is going to be the same as it has historically been.
The idea that I'll be forgotten, I guess. The idea that no one will remember me, that I won't have a lasting impact on the world in the short time that I'm here.
But if I get to a point in my life where I'm like, I get everything I want, I'm like, I think these are my goals, and I finally achieve them, and then I get to the ends, and then I'm not happy, that'll be like the sad. I feel so unaccomplished if I'm not like happy.
When you think about something at night once the day is completely over, when you're lying in bed, and then it's just one of those things that I think everyone just comes back to as the reason for why they do certain things. I mean, even if it's subconscious, and it's kind of worrisome. Like, imagine if heaven and hell really do exist. That would be pretty wild. I don't know which one I'd go to.
They did a study on like people through very long periods of time, like people that are now in like their 80s. They started doing studies on them when they were very young. What they found was that the relationships are what keep them the happiest. If I didn't have any relationships, like no friends, no nothing, just no family, I don't know what I would do. Like, I've just, that's my biggest fear, just not having anyone, being alone.
Ideally, yeah, I think that I would be able to look down on earth, and I want people to remember me. Good or bad, doesn't really matter. I just want to, I don't want to be forgotten.